Alright, so this time we're starting on turn 1, and that is because I'm going to go for 5 mosquitoes. Which maybe doesn't sound like it's a very smart idea, but I think if you're going to pick a tier 1 in pack 1 to go for, Mosquito is the one. Because although the abilities for pets like otter and fish are really strong to help build up your team, they really just kind of become dead weight the longer the game goes on. They've got no ability in battle. They're just stat lumps. So you're really heavily reliant on finding the pets to buff them very early. And not to say I haven't tried with, I'm sure I've had plenty of games in the past where I tried to have 3 fish and it just doesn't work. I mean, you get the very early stat boost and then it falls off pretty hard. But Mosquito, although since the hurt pets have been buffed quite a bit, Mosquito is not as good as it used to be in the mid game, because previously everyone would be getting turtle and pilling it onto their pets, and so melon was much more common. But now there's fewer melons in the mid game, and there's a million camels and blowfish with elephants in front. But having said that, in the late game, the Mosquito's ability can essentially wipe out, 3 or 4 melons, because we're going to go for an entire team of mosquitoes. So at least we're going to have at least 5 snipes. So in theory, you could remove 5 melons from the opposing team. The problem is getting the mosquitoes statted up to a level where they're going to be able to compete with the opposing team. So here I get penguin, but unfortunately I have 2 mosquitoes with no level up. But even to counteract that bad luck, I go against this solo mosquito player. They obviously were thinking the same things as me, but they're approaching it in a different way. So in lieu of the penguin buffs, I'm just going to combine the fish on turn 6, just to give the team a bit of a boost and hopefully win the next round as a result. And I think we do. Yeah, because the blowfish is going to snipe the otter, but then the penguin has just enough health to close out the round. Of course, because I froze the snail, I was going to win. So now I'm thinking, what do I do now? I've got this. You're always in this situation when you end up with a level 3 fish. It's like, when do you sell it? But I know that the clock is ticking, so I just sell it straight away, get the turtle in, and pill it immediately, and get in our old friend Skunk, who is just an absolute trooper in these 5-of-a-kind runs. Just adds so much value for 3 gold. So feeling a bit better having the melon on the front mosquito. Although again, you can see the kind of hazard of mosquitoes. If you hit peacock, you can end up generating lots of attack for the opposing team. And here I roll past the turtle, but then I think I probably shouldn't have done that, especially since I get pill in the shop. I decide to save it for next turn, and we'll get 2 melons onto the 2 carry mosquitoes. Thankfully, the mosquito snipes the deer to prevent it breaking the melon. Although obviously the longer you go into the game, the less likely you're going to snipe any scorpions or deer, because they may well just have, the odd sprinkling of stats on them from sushi or salad or something like that. So I decide here that since we might as well commit to penguin even further, and the idea will be to get the first chocolate I see is going on to the second mosquito, because we desperately need more stats. This player put their big worm in the back, which I don't know what they were thinking there. And we get the level up on the penguin here. We just need the second level and to get the mosquito in the shop, which is ideal. Now I've got seal frozen as well, because seal can be really, really good for rapidly scaling, especially if you've got multiple pets of the same type and you're just trying to buff. You don't really care who it lands on as long as it's from one of the 5 of a kind pets. And here actually we very luckily win by 1 health. But actually at turn 11 I think the seal is probably too late, and I think I sell it off here. You really want to get it as early as possible and get it to level 2, because feeding it, if I feed the seal the pair there, I'd probably much rather just put the pair directly onto the mosquito rather than the seal risk buffing the penguin. So here I'm going to pill mammoth to get another boost of stats, and I think I decided instead of the fly I just decided to buy the chocolate. And to be honest, quite a lot of times I feel like fly has resulted in me losing because of hippo or something similar. But here you can see, as always, the value of the melon is so high. And I freeze the steak because we're going to need to find 3 more mosquitoes. But what I decide to do here, so I'm going to buy the other penguin because I just really want more stats on those other, on the 2 main mosquitoes. And pretty soon I'm going to have to start throwing because we're on 8 wins and we're going to win this one as well. So now it's time to say, I think, goodbye to the skunk. So I roll for a while to try and find the mosquitoes. I don't get anything, and I get another penguin. So although I'm on 9 wins here, I'm fairly confident I'm not going to win. So I just and their level 3 mosquito removes both my melon on both the front units. So we actually get a draw, which is perfect. Because usually when I get to 9 wins in these challenges, I just sell everything and only run the pets that I'm allowed to. And so we find 1 mosquito there, but I decide I'm just going to roll with the penguin again and start hoping for losses. In fact, it's very likely to lose here with a 3 squad. When there's only 3 pets, opposing snipes are going to remove the melons, virtually guaranteed. So now we can get a mosquito in and give it some steak, although it's on 2 health is pretty precarious. And I find 2 more, which is amazing. And I greedily keep the penguin for 1 more turn. Need to get maximum stats on the 2 carry mosquitoes. And here, bizarrely, I face a team. I don't think it's the same player, but in the worm video, 5 worms, I faced a duck crab team like that. It was almost identical. So now I'm going to have to buy, on turn 16, I'm buying 2 base stats mosquitoes, which feels like it's game over. And I roll for steak or chili and I don't get it. So I just put another chocolate on the big mosquito. And you can see here the power as every single pet on the opposing team gets sniped. And although the little mosquito triggers the hippo's ability, the others are big enough to clutch out a win with 5 mosquitoes. Nerf mosquito, maybe? I don't know. But I was so chuffed to get that. And it just shows you the true power of keeping and buffing tier 1s.